Moses, the one drawn out of water, the one drawn for the affliction of the Egyptians, the one drawn by the hand of God. Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, the shepherd and guide of the lost sheep.
Yeah, Israel to brew with the Maisie prophets. Let go. For the fringes, I laced up my boots, Rooter Brew and showed up with an army. Nightcap in Phoenix be lit. We healing the sick and waking the zombies. Showing our people that sin is destruction and heathens reputed as nothing. Rebuking the evil is loving. Anytime the Holy Spirit upon me. White willing hair for a black God. Christians hear that and they dip. Kill Babylon, yeah, he's that hard. Look what he did for Egyptians. We believe all the transcriptions. You know my cargo pocket got the scripts. You know my armor bearer never miss. Nothing but death for you if you resist. Running all day in the hedges, highways, out here trying to save your soul. We rising from the ashes one day, seeking God's face. The fire done tried its gold. We holding camp, Holy Spirit filling up the air. Demons come against us, we don't care. Never give up, yeah. Never give in, yeah. We got the win, yeah. We holding camp, Holy Spirit filling up the air. Demons come against us, we don't care. Never give up, yeah. Never give in, yeah. We got the win, yeah.
Shalom Israel, Most High Christ bless. Now you can watch the Now Network in 236 million homes in 83 countries in the US, Western Europe, and Sub-Saharan Africa on cable and satellite TV. Every Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be premiering The Truth Shall Make You Free, starring Bishop Nathaniel. Available now on Roku, Amazon TV, Apple TV, and online at thenownetwork.org. Shalom.
Judas chapter 5 verse 20. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people,
meaning any sin,
and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
This shall be their ruin. Go ahead.
And let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
That's why the white man keeps sin in the black and Latino community, because they know God will not fight for us. If they're breaking God's commandments, you got women's rights movements, if you got homosexuals with them, if you got, what are some other things? You got crackheads, alcoholics with them, child molesters, pedophiles. Come on.
But if there be
but, you running by the words. But, listen to what he says, this but now, go ahead.
But, if there be no iniquity in their nation,
meaning if they have repented unto their God and are keeping his commandments,
let my Lord now pass by.
You better leave them the hell alone. Go ahead.
Lest their Lord defend them, and their God be for them, and we become a reproach before all the world.
Ye are the light of the world.
You are the light of the world. What else are you?
A city that is set on a hill.
You are a city that is to be set on a hill, so that the people that are still in darkness can see. Like it says that you are the light that shineth in a dark place. We are the example that our people are supposed to be able to look at and say, those brothers and sisters, they got it right. Come on.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
Let's play with that. Gather yourselves together. So as we pointed out, there's a lot of work that's involved in us just simply gathering together. A lot of personal things got to get pushed to the side, and that takes work. Your own desires and temptations, those things got to get pushed to the side. Gather yourselves together. That's verbiage. That's action. There's a lot of work involved in that. Then it says what? Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. meaning that the Lord is going to put more emphasis on the need for us to do what we are resistant to do.
Shalom, brothers. Shalom, sisters. Bishop Nathaniel here. You know what day it is. That's right. No, it ain't Shout Out Tuesday. It's Impromptu Shout Out. Today is another impromptu shout out. I wasn't going to do one. I wasn't. Honestly, I was not. But I saw this video of Pastor Tony Evans, and I said I got to. I have to, because this guy's unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, again, for the impromptus, I don't have the reading of the mail or the donations. This is off the cuff. What I want us to do is, like how I love to do, I love to show you a little bit of history. So I'm going to do that. I want you to take a little bit of this history, and I'll come right back with my commentary. Take a look at this history clip. All right, get your snacks, your libations, whatever makes you comfortable when you watch the clip. All right, so here we go. Watch it. Early Spanish manuscript illumination. All right, it says Spanish because this book deals with Spain. This book shows archaeology in Spain. I'm going to page 55. All right, let's just take a look. Now, I want you to see how these writers put this. Plate 8A, Plate 8B, Moralia of Ayub of 945. Christ in majesty. Christ, whose darkened flesh tones now give him an almost negroid cast, is shown enthroned between two cherubs. Cherubs are angels. So I want y'all to see the word in Christ, whose darkened flesh tones. He's not darkened, he's black. Now give him an almost, see that word right there? Almost negroid cast. This is why a lot of you, some of you new black preachers popping up, you scared to say he was black. That region, he's a region, the region where the people of color. No, he's black. Let's look at it, almost negroid cast. Let's take a look at it. Got to turn the book sideways. Here we go. Here we go right now. That's Christ in the center. These are two cherubs, angels. What color is that? What color are they? Look at their hands. Look at their faces. Look at these angels. Don't say there was a damn fire either, because that's what you damn Christians do. No, there was a fire and it burned up everything, so how come the pages in the back didn't get burned? Or the yellow or the red didn't get burned? Only their faces got burned and the wings? You kidding me? Or their wings didn't get burned, just the hands and the faces, you bunch of liars. Evil Christian liars. Leave these churches. If they can't repent now, leave. Time is too short. Christ was, is, and always will be black. A black man of the tribe of Judah. Russian Icons by Father Vladimir Ivanov. I'm going to show you the images of Christ and the apostles being black in Russia during the Dark Ages or the Middle Ages. All right, Picture 52, Descent of the Holy Ghost. Moscow Archaeology. Let's look at picture 52. There's Christ in the center with the crown on his head. And you have the 12 apostles. Let's start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And there's Christ in the center. What color are they? Black. They're all black. Black men. The Jews were always black, according to bibliography and the history. 63, the apostle and evangelist St. Matthew. Black. Miracle of the great martyr St. George and the Dragon. So St. George the Dragon Slayer. So you see the movies with white men slaying dragons. No, it was our ancestor. There's a young Leviathan at the bottom. That's what dragons were called in the Bible, Leviathans. And there's Christ giving him the Holy Spirit to go forth and win the battle. Black. What color are they? Black. The holy apostles Peter and Paul with scenes from their lives. Novgorod, Museum of Art History and Architecture. Black. Even look around the sides. The ministry of Peter and Paul. They were always painted black. These are things young black men and women don't learn in church or anywhere, except from the Israelites. That's when he's crucified one of them upside down. I believe this was Peter. Picture 19, Wisdom hath built her house. Monastery of St. Cyril near Novgorod, Moscow. What is this? Wisdom hath built her house. What color are these Jews? Black men, black women. Look at that. There's no mistakenness. Picture 18, Transfiguration of the Lord. Novgorod, 15th century, that's the 1400s. Museum of Art, History, and Architecture. The three disciples, Peter, James, and John, asleep. Okay, there's Christ in the center. Moses holding the tablets. And Elijah. Black. Black. I'm showing you these Greek Orthodox people, how they have paintbrushes, and their job is to paint over all the black images of Christ, the apostles, and all the leaders of Russia. Look, here's Christ black in the background. Let's see what this guy's doing. Let's pull back. Look, they're painting white images or painting over black images, whitewashing them as they call it. It's called iconoclasm. Look in the background here, black image of a Russian leader. They hide all this history. They all work together. They all work together. That's Christ. Black. Look. Painted over all the black images, made them white. That's why they say critical race theory is dangerous in schools. They don't want the Israelites to enter the school system and bring this out. Look at this. I'm going to zoom in right there. That's Mary and that's baby Christ. Well, if that's the baby Christ black, then who in the hell is this? Who in the hell is this? That's the Antichrist, the 666. Caesar Borgias. All these black images. In Russia. So the question should be, what happened for the images of Christ, the apostles, and all the Israelites to go from black to white? Well, for that, you got to go into these other books. Now, there's references in the Bible, but I'm going to show you that later. You got the Borgias by Marion Johnson. The Borgias, or Borgias, by Marion Johnson. Let's go inside. Okay, I'm on page 163. Portrait Sketches of Caesar by Leonardo da Vinci. Many of you should, or if you don't know, I'm going to tell you now. Leonardo da Vinci was the first artisan to portray Caesar Borgia as the new Christ, the Renaissance Christ, the white Christ. That's right, the image of the beast. Portrait Sketches of Caesar Borgia, by Leonardo da Vinci. After the fall of Milan and of his patron, Ludovico il Moro, Leonardo found employment with Caesar as his chief engineer, his main task being to supervise fortifications. So let's take a look. Look, Caesar the Prince. These are the sketches that Leonardo did. Side view, three-quarter view, front view. That's him as Christ. These were the sketches. There's no reason for you blacks to be ignorant anymore. You shouldn't be ignorant any longer. We've been showing y'all this for years. You've been bucking up against us. Now you got to take the jab, all kind of hell. You dropping dead of COVID and all kind of stuff. And we've been warning you, and you're fighting against us. Caesar Borgia, his head is most beautiful, wrote the Venetian ambassador when he was 25. The Pope loves and fears his son. His son is Caesar Borgia. That's his name there. The Pope is Rodrigo Borgias, Pope whose name is also called Pope Alexander VI of Rome. This is him when he was 25. A painting from another artist. They didn't have mousse to fluff up their hair. So this is the history on how Christ went from black in the Bible, black in archaeology, to white. Leonardo da Vinci was the first, followed by Michelangelo and many others. Maurice Hunt, the Divine Shakespeare face, Dostoevsky in four writers, C.S. Lewis. The Divine Face in 4 writers. So in this book, you have 4 different writers discussing the divine face of Christ. I'm on page 18. I'm just going to read the underlying words. On the page in his notebook of models headed Christ, Leonardo da Vinci, contrary to Vasari's claim that he sought no earthly model, wrote Cardinal of Motara. Beneath this, Leonardo has written Jehovah Kote, king, notes that, but what I want y'all to see, he sought no earthly model. Leonardo da Vinci always used earthly models, but they saw Caesar Borgia as the son of the Pope as a god. One candidate credibly put forward by an Italian scholar is a military man named Giovanni Conte, okay, captain of the militia who later entered the service of Caesar Borgia. So now the argument is maybe they used Giovanni Conte, who nobody's ever heard of, as the face of Jesus. Look, Caesar Borgia being Leonardo's model for the Prince of Peace. So Caesar Borgia was Leonardo's model for the Prince of Peace. That's Christ. All right, so you saw the history, the brief history. I pray that you brothers and sisters can understand that we are the Israelites, and there is a conspiracy against our people to hide the truth. That Christ is a black man, has always been black, and this new Caucasian image is nothing more than the image of the beast that majority of the world is worshiping as Christ. All right, now today's brief commentary is on Pastor Tony Evans. Now, I found a clip with him as a young man. And usually, like, when I looked at people like Fred K. Price, when they were young, they were like in the 70s, they were very or somewhat revolutionary minded. But I saw Pastor Tony Evans, some clips with him, and he was au contraire, mon frère, not that way at all. So take a look at our dear beloved brother, Pastor Tony Evans, in his younger days, all right? These black pastors have been shucking and jiving and dancing a jig for years. Now, here's a younger version of Tony Evans. And what I want all of you to check out and examine is that he's been trying to please white folks for a long, long time. He didn't just start this thing. Look at his audience.
We are God's alternatives. We are the ones who serve notice on this generation that the kingdom of God is alive and well. We are his divine nature. We are God's.
And I know what these white folks are saying. That's our nigga right there. That's our nigga right there. Yeah, that's him. Pick him, pick him. Woo! That boy can lie right there. That boy can lie. That's our liar right there. Pick him, pick him. All righty then. You saw it for yourself. You saw it for yourself. Now, what I want to do, because this damnable holiday, that's what I said, damnable holiday of Christmas, because it's not biblical. He had the nerve to twist his lips to try to manipulate people into celebrating this pagan holiday the world calls Christmas. Christ Mass. And the word Mass means death, by the way. The hell is this? All right, let's take a look. Let's take a look at our dear beloved brother, Pastor Tony Evans. And my commentary is going to be in and out. All right, just take a look, take a listen.
Hello, friends. This is Dr. Tony Evans with the Urban Alternative. On behalf of myself and our whole TUA family, we want to wish you and yours a very, very, very Merry Christmas and anticipate with you a glorious new year.
Don't miss Christ this Christmas.
I'm sorry, quick interruption. Anytime Pastor Tony Evans talks about Christ, talks about Jesus, he's referring to this man, this white man, who in actuality is Caesar Borgia, and I'll discuss the origin of this picture as I did in the beginning of this commentary. So let's get back to Lion Tony Evans.
We are facing a time when for Christmas, Christ is missing. Amidst all the frivolity and fanfare, food, fellowship, family, and fun, it's easy to miss Christ at Christmas. But that's not unique to us. That was true in the first century as well. because I want to show you some folks who miss Christ at Christmas. The way we miss him today, because each of these misses are relevant to us. The first one who missed Christ at Christmas was the innkeeper. Because Luke chapter 2, verse 7 says, and she gave birth to her firstborn son, and she wrapped him in cloths and laid him in a manger because there was no room for them in the inn. If the innkeeper only knew that this baby born in his hotel was the Son of the living God, trust me, they would have found a room. If the innkeeper only knew that the King of Kings and Lord of Lords was just trying to find a place to be born and to lay his head, they would have built a room if they had to. We are told that Bethlehem was crowded. That's because verse 1 tells us that in those days a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that a census be taken of all the inhabitants of the earth. And everybody was sent back to their city of birth to be registered. So Joseph from Bethlehem went back with his family and registered them in this crowded town called Bethlehem. People had come from all over. The crowds were everywhere. And money was on the table because it related to the taxing season. Wherever you go this Christmas, you're going to run into crowds. There's going to be plenty of folk who will crowd Jesus out. I mean, the only reason they were in Bethlehem is because Caesar said, this is the time you go back. The reason for many of the crowds you face is because your job said you don't have to come to work. And so people are going to be out and they're going to be busy. If this innkeeper only knew that the baby that there was no room for was the long-awaited Messiah, things would have changed. Listen, do you know how much traffic this innkeeper would have had if he said the Son of God stayed here? In fact, the Son of God was born here. No, the innkeeper had no room. And the question is, do you have any room? Is there any space to give Jesus Christ his due? So the first one who missed Jesus was the innkeeper. Business was good. The economics were working. But with good business, a crowded place, a packed hotel, Jesus was missing. Don't you lose Jesus this Christmas. After all, how can you have a birthday party for somebody and lose the person who the birthday was for? Either you're going to treat him like it's his party or call it something else. Don't miss Christ this Christmas. Now, the second person who missed Christ on Christmas was King Herod. In Matthew chapter 2, verse 3, we read these words. When Herod the king heard this, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. When he heard what? When he heard about the wise men, but they said, where is the king of the Jews? Herod said, say what? Herod said, I'm the king of the Jews. What you mean you're looking for the king of the Jews? You see, Herod, like many of us, don't have room for two kings. Because we've decided to be our own king and the only king. We've decided to be masters of our own fate, captains of our own ship. We don't mind Jesus being in the vicinity as long as he's not the ruler. There's not space for two kings, and It says Herod was troubled. The Greek word trouble means agitated, irritated, frustrated, and exacerbated. What do you mean there's another king? I am in charge here. One of the ways you miss Jesus is trying to be your own king. One of the ways you miss Jesus is trying to rule your own life. One of the ways you miss Jesus is to be troubled by the fact that he wants to be the only king and that you have to submit to him. Herod did not want anybody competing for his throne when Jesus came to set up his own kingdom, to declare supremacy. People do not want Jesus to interfere with their lives, their careers, their money, their power, their personality, their ambition, their plans. In fact, not only was Herod messed up about all this, it says, and all Jerusalem with him. You see, we have sanitized Christmas. Christmas is really sanitized today. It's nice, it's sweet, it's cute, it's melodious. No, kids were being killed at Christmas. Infanticide, every child 2 years and under, every boy was to be slaughtered by Herod because Jesus showed up. You see, when Jesus shows up and demands to be king and is rejected, there's going to be trouble. The reason why we have a lot of the trouble we have in our world, in our lives, in our homes today is because the king has been rejected. And so as a result, there's chaos and confusion and weeping and mourning and pain and division because Jesus can be in the vicinity, he just can't be on the throne. He can't be telling me what to do. He can't be my point of reference. He can't overrule me. Let me explain. If Jesus can't overrule you, you're not celebrating Christmas. If Jesus can't silence you when he speaks, you're not celebrating Christmas. If Jesus can't tell you no when you think yes, you're not celebrating Christmas. If Jesus can't boss you around, you're not celebrating Christmas. You're celebrating you like it's your birthday. You see, Herod didn't want competition. He didn't want anybody else claiming a throne next to him.
I want to take us into this book called The Two Babylons by Alexander Hislop, or The Papal Worship. Alexander Hislop published this book back in 1858. Again, 1858. Pay close attention. Now, it goes into great detail, but I'm only going to read some key highlighted points. Pay attention. Page 93. I'm going to concentrate on the highlighted areas. December the 25th as Christmas Day. A festival was celebrated among the heathen at that precise time of the year in honor of the birth of the son of the Babylonian queen of heaven. And it may fairly be presumed that in order to conciliate the heathen and to swell the number of the nominal adherents of Christianity, the same festival was adopted by the Roman Church, giving it only the name of Christ. Let's jump down to the next paragraph. Highlighted. That Christmas was originally a pagan festival is beyond all doubt. The time of the year and the ceremonies with which it is still celebrated prove its origin. In Egypt, the son of Isis, the Egyptian title for the Queen of Heaven, was born at this very time, about the time of the winter solstice, the very name by which Christmas is popularly known among ourselves, Yule Day, proves at once its pagan and Babylonian origin. Yule is the Chaldean name for an infant or little child. Page 98. The divine child born at the winter solstice was born as a new incarnation of the great God, talking about Nimrod. After that God had been cut in pieces, Nimrod was killed on purpose to revenge his death upon his murders. Now the great God, cut off in the midst of his power and glory, was symbolized as a huge tree, stripped of all its branches and cut down almost to the ground. Next highlighted paragraph. The Christmas tree, as has been stated, was generally at Rome a different tree, even the fir.
But this very same idea as was implied in the palm tree was implied in the Christmas fir, for that covertly symbolized the newborn god as Baal Berith. Next highlight area. Therefore, the 25th of December, the day that was observed at Rome as the day when the victorious God reappeared on earth, was held at the Natalis Invicti Solis, the birthday of the unconquered sun. Now the Yule log is the dead stock of Nimrod, deified as the sun god, but cut down by his enemies. The Christmas tree is Nimrod redivivus, the slain god come to life again.
Now, Tony Evans and his congregation may not believe in history books written in 1858. Well, the book of Jeremiah was recorded around 606 BC. Let's see if he believes in the Bible. Let's see if he believes in scripture, because remember, he sat his ashy behind next to a Christmas tree.
Verse 1, hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Verse 2, thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. Remember, the Israelites were going into the Babylonian captivity around 606 BC. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. So don't worry about shooting stars, comets, blood moon, solar eclipse, lunar eclipse. Don't worry about none of those things. Verse 3, for the customs of the people are vain. The word vain means lies. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. Now you got to ask yourself, what holiday is this making reference to where people go into a forest and cut down a tree? Verse 4, they deck it with silver and with gold. Now, if you didn't know this is talking about the daggone Christmas tree, you'd stupid as hell. So they cut down a tree, then they deck it with silver and gold. Like today, you get your daggone tree and you decorate it with silver and gold. That's what deck means, to decorate. It says they fastened it with nails and with hammers that it move not. Back then, they used to fasten the tree down with nails and hammers. Today, you just buy a daggone tree stand. What's the difference? It's the same lying custom. Okay. Verse 5, they are upright as the palm tree, because back in ancient Babylon, they used the palm tree. Today, they use an evergreen tree. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. Why does it say, but speak not? Because there was a tradition of men of Babylon that the spirit of Nimrod would enter into the tree. They must needs be born. That means carried, because they cannot go. They can't walk on their own. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good. Why is that important for this stupid holiday? Because they got a song where they say regarding Santa Claus, Saint Nick. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better not shout. Y'all know the damn song. You know the song. That's the crap they do on Christmas. Now they substitute that with Jesus. Stop following this false holiday. And yes, we're going to bash Christmas because it's a demonic pagan holiday.
All right, since we're on the topic of Christmas, having a Merry Christmas, let's go to Revelation chapter 11. I think I want to start at verse 3. And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses. Now, who are the 2 witnesses that the Lord is referring to here through John? Well, let's go to Isaiah 43 and let's look at verse 1 and verse 10 to explain who are the witnesses of the Lord. Isaiah 43 verse 1. But now thus saith the Lord that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel. Fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name. Thou art mine. Now let's jump over to verse 10. Same chapter. Ye are my witnesses, saith the Lord. Who are the witnesses of the Lord? It says Jacob and Israel. Let me read it one more time. Isaiah 43 verse 10. Ye are my witnesses, saith the Lord, and my servant whom I have chosen, that ye may know and believe me, and understand that I am he. Before me there was no God formed, neither shall there be after me. So the witnesses of the Lord are the Israelites, the 2 kingdoms. So Revelation chapter 11 is a deep
allegory. So again, Revelation 11 verse 3, and I will give power unto my two witnesses. The power that was given unto them to shut heaven up from raining and fire goes into them living out the prophecies of Deuteronomy 28. Now, if y'all have seen the Revelation breakdown, I've gone through it in depth somewhat. So Revelation 11 and 3 again, I will give power unto my two witnesses, that's the two kingdoms, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. See, that's the key, clothed in sackcloth. That's them at a low state of servitude, of captivity. Verse 4, these are the two olive trees and the two candlesticks standing before the God of the earth. So the two witnesses are the two olive trees, which are the two candlesticks. What does that mean? Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 11, verse 16. Jeremiah chapter 11, bear with me, and verse 16. Here's a precept to help you all out here. All right. Jeremiah chapter 11, we're going to read verse 16 and 17. The Lord called thy name a green olive tree, fair and of goodly fruit. With the noise of a great tumult he hath kindled fire upon it, and the branches of it are broken. For the Lord of hosts that planted thee hath pronounced evil against thee, for the evil of the house of Israel and of the house of Judah. See, those are the two kingdoms, which they have done against themselves to provoke me to anger in offering incense unto Baal or Baal. All right, so now we understand who the two olive trees are, which are the two candlesticks. All right, let's get back to Revelation chapter 11, and I'm going to jump down to verse 8 just for time's sake. All right, and their dead bodies, whose dead bodies? The bodies of the two witnesses, which are the two olive trees, and the two candlesticks, which are the two kingdoms. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. See, this is the United States of America. America is the greatest city on the planet Earth. Greatest kingdom. Sodom, why is it calling it Sodom, spiritual Sodom? Because they give gay rights. Why is it saying this place is spiritual Egypt? Take out a dollar bill. Take out a dollar bill. You'll see on the back of the dollar bill a pyramid with the all-seeing eye of Ra. It's right there. See, the scholars of society know that this place is spiritual Egypt. Okay? Why does it say? So you understand Sodom, you understand Egypt. Then it says, well, also our Lord was crucified. Just like that evil spirit crucified Christ and his teachings, that spirit is here today in the United States of America. Let's read on. We're in verse 9. And they of the people in kindreds and tongues and nations. See, that's how you know that this is America. Because America is made up of all people and kindreds and tongues and nations. Then it says, shall see their dead bodies. Why does it say we're dead? Because we're spiritually dead. We're not physically dead. We're spiritually dead. 3 days and a half, 350 years, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves, because we're not physically dead. We're spiritually dead. Verse 10, and they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them. They shall rejoice over who? The two candlesticks, the two witnesses, the two kingdoms. That's who they're rejoicing over. Let's read verse 10 again. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry. What does it mean, make merry? Merry Christmas. See, a lot of you don't know the history. They gave our sons and daughters as gifts to one another on this damnable holiday you call Christmas. Even on birthdays, because since Pastor Tony Evans want to compare lying false Christmas to these lying false pagan birthdays, on their birthdays they gave us as presents, as gifts. We're going to show you the clips of it. Okay, where little white girls got rope and chains around the necks of little black boys because we was given as gifts to their kids. Okay, you don't know no history. Okay, verse 10 again. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, as in Merry Christmas, and shall send gifts one to another. We was the gifts, because these two prophets, what two prophets? The two prophets are who? The two olive trees are the two witnesses, are the two candlesticks, Judah and Israel. Okay. What is that? Where we at again? Because these two prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth, because we ruled over them, over the nations. All right, brothers. All right, sisters. I pray that you glean something from this episode. Share, share, share. Hey, all these Christmas episodes, y'all should be sharing with family, friends, and the people with whom I commented on. Don't just let it sit here in IUIC, sit here in IUIC events. Share, 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 share. To friends, to family, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, and the person I'm commenting on. Share it with them. I don't care. Hey, they might do a commentary on me. And that's all good, because we need the publicity. We want more publicity to get this word out that we're the Israelites the Bible speaks of. All right, brothers? All right, sisters? So with that, you know how I love to say, let's stay healthy. Let's stay faithful. Let's stay focused. But most of all, let's all of us please stay in the spirit. Most High in Christ bless. Shalom. Love you all.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.